So Module 5 is called Working with Self. And essentially the intent is to look at who we are so that we can better understand others. So this module will actually have 2 assignments attached to it. The first one is a discussion board, and the second one is an essay. The first learning activity is called Who Are You? In this activity, you will read chapter 4 of the textbook. And as always, there is the visual presentation highlighting the key points of the chapter, the chapter review questions, and then there are 2 articles that I would like you to read and reflect on. The last article, Cultural Intelligence Explained, will be particularly important for when we do the essay for assignment 3. The second learning activity is about single stories. In this learning activity, you will watch 2 videos. The first one, The Lost Boys of Sudan, will actually be part of the cultural intelligence discussion board that you'll do in a few weeks. And the second one is a TED Talk called The Danger of a Single Story. This is one of my favorite TED Talks. And just as a side note, Adichie is one of my favorite authors. So if you like reading, I would highly recommend her novels. And the third learning activity is called Cultural Intelligence. So there's a couple exercises and articles that you'll be reading that will ask you to reflect on your cultural competence and then think about concrete actions that you can take to increase your cultural intelligence and be a more active participant in changing some of those biases or actively trying to better understand those you'll come in contact with. And just as a side note, related to this, I would point you to something called Project Implicit. And this is a project created by some professors in Harvard. And we had them come to Bow Valley College a couple years ago, and they did a lecture for the faculty and staff about how to recognize our implicit biases. So biases that we don't even know we have, or that we're automatically making choices without even knowing that we may be biased. And they wrote a book called Blind Spot. You can see the ad for it up in the corner here. I did read that as well, and it was quite interesting. So I recommend that you go through, and they just have some really simple little tests you do online. And I found, and they're on different topics, for instance, social attitudes, mental health, and even this one is about different foods. And it was really interesting to see what kind of biases I had that I couldn't even tell you that I would have felt that way. So I recommend this. I'll post this in the news items if anyone is interested.